Fire, fire, fire.
And Steam needs to do more to censor hateful criticism from games. Oh no, not the Relooted devs at Blue Sky. Oh no, whatever they're gonna do, cry on Blue Cry?
So the other day I talked about Relooted. This game launched. It launched.
It looks terrible too. They're really doing like a disservice to these characters. What the character design is just not very good. I've seen plenty of black characters that look fan-fucking-tastic.
You can call it a launch when it had like a peak player count of 57. That's more of like
Very
an instant fail.
corporate,
But yeah, Relooted launched. Got a max player count of 57. Now it's 36
Lord.
as
Where's
recording.
the audience?
And I saw some tweets from Gothic Therapy where they showcase a few tweets, or excuse me, a few Blue Sky posts from the CEO of Relooted.
Oh
this
boy,
Ben Myers guy. And in this,
let me guess. The gamers are racist.
screenshots of the posts, he is complaining about gamers and Steam and wanting to censor the Steam forums, but he's scared if he does, he'll get criticism for it, but he really wants to. And I went over to the guy's Blue Sky account and I couldn't find those posts actually. It looks like he deleted them. So I'll say, like, apparently he said this stuff because
Stand on
it's not
business,
there
brother.
anymore, but the screenshots are still out there. And let me show you where this discussion really started. And it gets especially interesting too because we have a little cameo from a certain Kindred, a name you might be familiar with if you follow the Sweet Baby
person,
news that was going around a while back. And so it all begins here with this TEG.
There we go. Right-oid culture war incels. Hell yeah. I called it.
Account on Blue Sky. That
Let's
says,
go.
This is the Steam forum for Relooted, and it's all grave dancing right-oid culture war incels. Do you think Valve is ever going to crack down on this stuff? They allow this nonsense to fester on their platform.
The target audience looted this game someplace else.
Providing hate mongers a soapbox to spew vile
What? That's not even hateful. It's just funny. What the fuck? They're making a pun out of your game name. How is that fucking terrible? Hello, fellow chuds.
Racist BS. Deeply frustrating. Oh, it's so frustrating. I'm going to this forum and it's upsetting me, and I'm going there anyways and screenshotting it to complain on my Blue Sky account. Could this guy have fit any more buzzwords in that post either? What is that, like 4 sentences? He managed to shovel so many buzzwords in that stuff. It's crazy. And so that's where we can see these.
I feel like the second one is also pretty reasonable. This is not the way to get any sort of message across. Wilted rose emoji. How is that even bad? How is this grave dancing? They're just stating their criticism that this isn't the right way to do it.
Either. What is that, like 4 sentences? He managed to shovel so many buzzwords in that stuff. It's crazy. And so that's where we can see these apparent responses from Relooted CEO Ben Myers. But before we take a look at all those posts, let me show you this one that I mentioned from Kindred. It says, we're here in this moment explicitly because Steam wouldn't do anything they didn't do any... Wait a second, hold on.
Holy shit, I had an aneurysm reading that in my head.
The phrasing here is really funny. Or either I read that wrong or the phrasing's really funny. Let me try again. We're here in this moment explicitly because Steam wouldn't do anything. They didn't do anything about this at the critical moment. Yeah, the phrasing's funny. Absolute abdication
there should be a comment.
Of responsibility.
They repeated themselves, and maybe if there was a comment, it might have helped.
Steam wouldn't do anything. They didn't do anything about this at the critical moment. The critical moment? What is that even supposed to mean, bro? What is the
launch.
Critical moment?
If we didn't have a bunch of rightoid incels posting about it on the forums, this game would have been more successful. Okay, buddy, whatever makes you sleep at night, I guess.
These people are such drama queens. And so, as mentioned, Kindred is someone who was formerly a narrative designer at Canadian DEI consultation firm Sweet Baby Inc. And this is someone who previously advocated for censorship over on Steam because he was offended at the stuff gamers were saying there, and also offended that gamers were pointing out games that Sweet Baby Inc. had worked on.
Oh no.
And so he didn't like that.
And they didn't like that so much that they deleted it off their website. At least stand on your ground, sis.
He didn't like that transparency. He didn't like that people were saying, hey, SBI worked on this game, just letting you know. And he wanted anyone that would say such things banned. And not just banned, he even advocated for people's entire Steam accounts to get banned too. So to clarify, not just like banned on a Steam discussion forum, but their entire Steam account banned. Which, you know, would mean you lose your entire Steam library. All those games you spent money on, this guy wanted you to lose all that because you had the audacity to say, hey, SBI worked on that game, just letting you know. That's how unhinged these people are. So it's a pretty funny little...
Yeah, didn't they also threaten to dox the guy that made the list or something on Steam? Yeah, that he deserves to get doxed and, like, have his account, like, deleted and shit. I saw some pretty racist comments, too, because he's from Brazil and saying, like, oh, well, you're only saying that because you're from Brazil. It's like, what is that supposed to mean? Excuse me? Yeah, I'm not saying that that was what Sweet Baby Inc. said, but there were a lot of people saying stupid shit.
Cameo here that we see Chris Kindred over in the Blue Sky Echo Chamber.
I thought they did dox
still
him?
advocating
I don't think they
for
did. They
censorship
wanted
on
him
Steam.
to.
This stuff with SBI happened years ago. I think it was back in 2024, if I recall. And to this day, man is still just that pressed over it all. And that takes us back to Ben Myers, the CEO of the dev studio behind this Relooted game, where Ben Myers is responding to this TEG person that we read a few minutes ago that said, this is the Steam forum for Relooted, and it's all grave dancing right-away culture war incels. Do you think Valve's ever going to crack down on this stuff? They allow this nonsense to fester on their platform, providing hate mongers a soapbox to spew vile racist BS. Deeply frustrating.
How is this racist? The target audience looted this game someplace else. That's a joke because the game is called Relooted. This is not this way to get a message across, not racist. So how is this funded? That's not racist, it's a question. They're asking where did they get the money to make this game? Because games cost a lot of money to make, generally speaking. They're not made from, like, nothing, right? Hello, fellow chuds. That's like a troll meme post. Again, not really racist. Like, what are we talking about? Like, everything that you don't like is racist?
And Ben Myers responds and says
all
this.
Everything
Based
that's
on
not
the torrid
praise is
stuff they mark
racist.
is not against terms of service when it's reported. I doubt they have much interest ever addressing this, which is particularly awful considering you can't turn off forums as a dev.
Oh my god, these people don't want any discussion. If it was their choice, they literally wouldn't have a forum page for people to, like, talk about their game.
Wants to turn off the
that's
Steam
impressive.
forums on his game, brother. Those Steam forums have more active people there than your game does. TEG says, one solution I've seen other devs use is to lock the whole forum and leave a single locked thread pointing to a platform they have actual moderation.
Oh my god. It's like self-reporting and they say it out loud without even realizing it.
Power over. Just go to Reddit. Go to our subreddit. Maybe that's an option for y'all. Either way, deeply sorry you have to deal with this BS. 2014 never ends. Ben says, we'll look into it. Part of the issue, though, is that if you use your moderation...
What does that even mean? You have to deal with this bullshit 2014 never ends. Buddy, it's been 12 years. If anything, censorship's gotten even worse.
Maybe that's an option for y'all. Either way,
yeah,
deeply
they're talking
sorry
about
you have to
Gamergate,
deal
yeah.
with this BS. 2014 never ends.
No.
Ben says, we'll look into it. Part of the issue, though, is that if you use your moderation powers to... if you use your moderation powers too much as a dev, then there is a cottage industry of YouTubers who make...
What the fuck is that a term? Cottage industry. A business of manufacturing activity carried on in a person's home. An industry whose labor force consists of family units or individuals working at home with their own equipment. Oh! They don't like that there's people reporting on it that aren't part of, like, a corporate conglomerate that they can control. That's what they're saying. They're saying, like, basically, there's people who are journalists, right, that are owned by, like, a corporation. For example, like, IGN and shit, or, like, Kotaku, which is, like, they can be bought out, but then the cottage industry of YouTubers, they can't influence them or, like, push them into saying what they want. They can't silence them because they're doing whatever they want. They don't like that. That's a really nice self-report.
Videos about your forums, and then that drives more bad faith actors there. Went through this when we announced. Just just it becomes a feedback loop of never-ending new accounts dropping in. Basically impossible to moderate the volume that occurs when that happens. And that's the end of it. So it sounds like what happened, speculating, is Ben saw that people were sharing these screenshots outside of Blue Sky, sharing them on Twitter/X. Some people already made YouTube videos about this. He deleted this stuff as some sort of like damage control or something. I don't know.
Guess.
Didn't want more people talking about it, more people making videos about it. But it's like, dude, the screenshots are already out there. And now here we are. It's also funny where he complains that YouTubers will cover if devs censor gamers.
They just don't want people talking about it. If they had their choice, they would release the game. They would call it a W. They would call it awesome, that it's like breaking through and making new ground on video games. But because people are criticizing it, if they had their choice, they would just have no forums. They would delete every single YouTube video that's critical of them.
He frames it as like a cottage industry of YouTubers who will cover that stuff, and he's framing it in a negative light. But in reality, that just means that we're individuals working on our own, as opposed to industry people like him that have industry support and funding. And that's to say that it actually makes us look better, and he doesn't realize that, which is pretty funny. Something else funny is that Relooted and the people behind Relooted, like Ben Myers, have actually been accused of being racist themselves. People arguing that Relooted, the game, perpetuates racist stereotypes. And these people have said nothing about that stuff, but they're really quick to label gamers as racists. Meanwhile, again, they don't address what people are saying about their own alleged racism. Instead, they're busy complaining about Steam for...
Well, yeah, accuse what you're doing of what you're doing on other people and just deflect everything. It's not that difficult of a concept.
Posts.
Yeah.
And
Incel
be worried that people will
hate
make YouTube videos if they censor their Steam forums. Reminds me of discourse in 2024 around Ubisoft and Star Wars Outlaws, where it was reported that Ubisoft was trying to pressure Steam to hide or limit the visibility of the concurrent player count for
That's why you can't give them an inch. They will take a mile. They'll be like under the premise of like, oh, see, there's a bunch of racists. You gotta lock down the forums and give us the option of not having forums for our game page. And then they will take that as a W that nobody's criticizing their game. Oh, YouTube, please, they're harassing us for saying our game sucks. Wah.
Their titles.
Please,
they were so humiliated
it's not
that
censorship.
People could
it's
see
just
the
their
extremely
bullies.
low player count on their Ubisoft games. That they wanted that censored. They didn't want people to be able to see that data, apparently. And so I'm just getting like similar vibes from this as well. You know, we see this time and time again where some modern audience Slav games come out and these people very quickly jump to a smear campaign or just outright censorship. The smear campaign was their old strategy. They'd contact their gaming journalist buddies, get some nonsense article written up.
Yeah,
oh, the
exactly.
gamers are suds, blah, blah, blah. We don't deserve this.
And I wish there was a way to like test this or like check if they actually played the game. I want to see like those journalists that write up articles about their favorite stupid anti-chud game, whatever the fuck, anti-incel gamer game. I want to see if they actually played it. Wouldn't it be so funny if they like got their friend to like write an article and they didn't even play the game? Like they checked your Steam account really quick. I know there's no way to like do that, obviously, unless they do it voluntarily, which they never would anyway. But it's like they're just saying it to make themselves feel good. It's always this feel good virtue signaling, like, yeah, we're destroying the chuds. Yeah, high five, let's go.
Like, no one cares about what gaming journalists have to say anymore, though. So, like, some of them still try that strategy, and it just fails instantly because, again, no one cares about gaming journalists like that. And some of them don't even try it anymore. Instead, oh, how can we get Steam censored so people can't voice their opinions like this? Yeah, they would love if, like, people were forced to only use Reddit, and they could have their, Reddit White Knight mods just remove any post, ban anyone that has a dissenting opinion. Anyways, yesterday was that High Guard dev that was all whiny and crying and trying to play victim. Now we got this Ben Myers guy.
Wait.
That's the industry for you. Well, this part of the industry at least. Let me know what you guys think about all this in the comments. Thank you for tuning in.
I wonder how much it costs to make
weekend. I'll see you in the next one.
How much of my taxpayer dollars, because it's a Canadian game, but I'm pretty sure there's American game devs. I'm not sure how it works exactly, but I want to know how much money they got out of the taxpayers to make this game. I really want to know. Couple thousand, couple 100,000. It's not cheap making a video game.
Fire, fire, fire.